be on fire. You'll never know you won't know for
Well,
sure until we get there. You won't know if you don't go. I've heard that somewhere before.
apparently my characters aren't going anywhere unless I make an executive decision.
Well, that'll do it. All right, my
You're either going to
friends.
have the easiest part of this section of the mission or the worst part of this section of the
Yeah,
mission, and
really.
nothing in between.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
just look at it this way. When we set off the traps by accident, you're not going to be the immediately dead person. You get to run in and rescue whoever just, lopped their leg off.
Yeah, you get to be the
and then
cleanup
Warren
crew.
has to sit there at the choke point and hopefully hold the choke point.
Yeah, and hope nothing goes wrong. That would be absolutely horrible if something went wrong.
Yeah,
I know, right?
we might accidentally feed him to the jungle criminals.
I've totally got that. Don't worry. Don't worry. I've got that one. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to the late start of our show. Welcome to the Krieg Dominion. I am Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion and the host for tonight's events Along the Frontier, an alien RPG campaign. This is episode 5, Through the Blaze, and I am the Game Mother, a title I didn't create, but it's starting to grow on me. With me, of course, are my players, Rodance, Luke, and Kane. So let's check in with them for a moment and see what's new and exciting for them. And meanwhile, I'll just be over here, totally not training my facehuggers to sit down and roll over. Rodance, what's new and exciting for you? I'm picturing that in my head right now, by the way.
Let's see. New and exciting. Well, I have discovered that World of Darkness games are both highly entertaining and highly terrifying.
Yeah.
I literally wrote a backstory where I basically had to Truck Coon my character.
You had to... One more time? I didn't catch that word.
Truck Coon. AKA the cliched truck that accidentally kills the character every time you Zeki them.
Okay.
It's a running joke.
Sure.
Yeah, so basically she survived, but she became magically empowered.
Which game
so
is
I
this that you're playing?
effectively Truck Cooned a character. It's beautiful.
Which game is this?
Mage of the Ascension. It's actually one of the World of Darkness games.
Yeah. I just got the copy. I just got a copy of 4th edition like about a month ago.
Yeah, I was going through the 20th anniversary rules. I have to say, it's really fun to get just the setup for a game that is set in modern times with additions,
right.
And it makes it. Oh look, my Axolotl occasionally decides to pop in.
Yeah, I've noticed that a couple of times.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting because most games aren't set in modern, so it's kind of neat.
It is. That is one thing I do like about the World of Darkness is that you can do effectively medieval era or basically medieval era all the way up to the modern era, depending on what you're trying to play. And the one that I've gotten into is, of course, Vampire. I did take a look at Magician because I wanted to see how the magic system worked versus the magic, quote unquote magic in Vampire. But unfortunately I've got 4th edition, and meanwhile the rest of the main line of World of Darkness is all 5th edition. I haven't gotten around to releasing Magician yet. Mage rather.
Yeah. But still, it's interesting.
It is interesting. I have even considered trying to learn enough about the system to try to put together a campaign, but that's further down the road than any of my other ideas right now.
It is out of the trifecta of role-playing games, it is a role-playing pillar primary game.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to D&D and Pathfinder's combat primary.
Yeah. No, that's one thing I really like about it is you have to find a group that's willing to commit to the role-playing and not so much the rolling of the game, which is, I'm not saying it's hard or easy, but the people involved need to understand the fine difference there.
Well, and it's so much fun learning another system because it gives you a lot. The more you know about each individual system and how the people design it and why it's done that way, you get better insight on how the other systems work.
Yeah.
So, there are certain patterns that repeat. Even among a D10 or a D6 or a D100 or no dice system at all. Right. And you really can see where things play and how things interact better if you want a certain type of goal. Yeah. And it's kind of neat to see.
No, I do like I do like how I haven't delved too much into it, but I do know that with the rule system being effectively a handful of different games, but they're all interrelated, so that you could easily transition from one system to the other without really losing much, or having to relearn anything outside of, I guess, fundamentally, uh, how to play a vampire versus how to play a werewolf or a mage or a
Yeah,
hunter
you can literally take characters you make in the other sections and use them as bad guys for whatever flavor you're playing.
Yep. Yep.
The scaling for that works better with the newer rules than it does for the classic rules.
So 5th edition.
Classic gets really weird to integrate.
Yeah, that's the
that as
impression I got
somebody
with
who's
5th.
currently playing in a classic World of Darkness game where we have vampire, we have mage, we have werewolf, and we have a changeling. So all of the weirdities and the inconsistent rules in the old writing is making that an adventure.
Oh, I'm sure. I think that was one thing, or I think that was one aim or goal with the 5th edition series, is that they're trying to make them all a better intercompatibility. I'm not sure if that's really a word or not. I feel like I just made up a word that would make Grimdark James happy as a businessman. But you got anything else for Dance before we move on?
Nope.
All right. Well, Luke, other than your chainsword, I almost said chainsaw. Oh no, I said chainsword. I meant to say chains. Jesus Christ! I gotta get my brain out of Warhammer here. Other than your chainsaw story that I did not know about until earlier tonight, what's new and exciting for you?
Well, Helldivers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
I was waiting for
So
Kate to
much-
react.
so much Helldivers.
I've seen Kate in a different Discord, very active in their helldiving experiences.
Oh, are you playing too or no?
I'm at almost 70 hours played.
Oh, nice. I'm at like 40, but I try to work at the same time, so it's a little bit difficult.
Student.
Yeah, I love that. Like, hashtag student life. Get wrecked, bitches.
Servers are absolutely messed up. It's impossible to get into the game at this point. There's a couple exploits to get into the game. None of them are ethical, and they probably ruin the experience for someone.
Yeah, I was just telling somebody about this earlier tonight before I got home from work, but from what I have gathered, and most of it coming from AP's Discord, by the way, Kane, is they just were not expecting the sheer volume of players, and the login and authentication servers are just absolutely swamped, and it's literally been just spam trying to get in. That's the only way to get in right now. And in fact, I think the last round of updates has been specifically to combat that, and I don't know how effective it's been. I have no idea because I've not looked, and I don't pay attention to the game. This is all of my knowledge is based on secondhand knowledge and what I've seen other people say. So,
they've estimated that it'll take weeks before they even have somewhat of a solution for the player cap.
Jesus Christ.
It's not even a matter of server capacity. It's a matter of the backend code trying to do the double checking for authentication, like you said, or trying to log in. And the game wasn't designed for more than like 260,000 players, which is a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a couple of large cities.
From what I understood, they shot for a number that was higher than the peak they had ever seen in the first game, and figured that'd be a safe number.
Yeah,
because they weren't expecting a bigger interest. It's a pretty niche game, so
yeah.
Oh, it's
very
niche, but
yeah,
it's absolutely exploded.
Rodance, thanks for the follow, by the way. I saw that you just popped on there. I thought you were on there before.
I was, and then I cleared the cache of my browser, logged back in, and it is not the same.
I guess, do you have a Rodance and a Rodance 1?
I guess.
Because I'm pretty sure the one that you had always been chatting with us before was Rodance 1. I could be wrong, though.
I'm going to have to go poke at it because it does not have all of my follows that I'm used to seeing. So I guess free follow, clicky.
Thanks. Hey, you too can follow if you like. Sorry, I know I interrupted there. I just wanted to throw that in. But yeah, no.
How do I have 2 Twitch accounts?
This is an answer I cannot provide for you. I feel like I just quoted Kane from something else.
I don't understand how, because they're tied to the same email.
Don't know how that works either.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's how. Yeah.
I don't know how that works. It doesn't sound right.
No,
Luke,
Amazon's
what else
Oh,
you
pretty
got
there's
for
all my
us?
favorites if I log in as Rodance 1.
Okay.
So weird.
Luke, what else you got before we move on and try to get started with a show that may or may not even take place at this point? We're so far behind.
Well, not terribly much. Not terribly much. I've been moved to the late shift, so my nappy time has been moved to the morning. But also that has the advantage of I don't have to wake up tomorrow morning for any amount of time until
Nice.
like 1 p.m.
Nice.
So that's gonna be good, and I'm awake, so I'm ready for this.
Awesome. Kane, check in with you, my friend, who had made comments earlier that I was just not prepared for, but I'm not going to repeat them now.
It's okay. I'm not going to repeat them either. But
what's new and exciting for you, my friend?
Well, I'm
Feeling
awake,
great.
aware, and here, and that wasn't entirely expected. So let's fucking do this.
All right, let's go. Let's do it. Let's get it on. Let's do it. All right, so along the frontier, I keep wanting to say frontier. I don't know why. Along the frontier, episode 5, we open with the usual recap montage, starting with a briefing in a small room with a hollow projected topographical map of a jungle moon. We see a dropship leaving the Tamatam, sliding through space and burning through the upper atmosphere. We see it level out, only to be attacked by an interceptor aircraft. What? And the nose of the Cheyenne muddled with holes after a pass and starting to spin out of control. We see Pike fighting the growing G-forces as he rises from his seat, makes his way into the cockpit. We see the Cheyenne manage to right itself out of a flat spin, but only barely in time to slide into the dense jungle forest below, crashing and ending its flying days forever. Flash cut to an attack on the dropship, RPGs and small arms. A flash of a blade ending a surrendered man's life. A walk through the jungle. Sweat. Large barrels of explosive goo. The audible and very distinct sound of a leather boot depressing a metallic cylinder. Pike crawling through the mud to dig out and disarm a landmine. And then finally, a sweeping shot from on high as the team of Marines comes to a clearing and is able to look down onto the crashed hull of a frigate-sized vessel. Letters stand proud, but a bit worn from a portion of the hull sticking out of the mud, and the camera zooms in on them to reveal that these are not, as we might have expected, English letters, but rather Cyrillic. What? Dun dun dun. You like the little sound effects there? Anyway, the last thing we see of the recap.
You're in a mood.
Yeah, I'm in a bit of a mood. Yeah. The last thing we see of the recap as it transitions into our episode proper is the Marines entering the ship from a hole in the side of the hull and 2 Marines staying behind to pull security. I do believe we have our tokens on the board. Has everybody got visibility the correct way? I feel like I didn't change anything, so everything should be working the same as it did when we ended last week.
Yeah, I feel like you got the visibility working because I'm
Can't see
checking both
shit.
tokens.
Yep, visibility's working. I can't see shit.
Yeah, I see walls. That's nice.
Has a nice view of the outside.
Yeah. He repositioned some of my windows here. Yeah, so you are in the, and I guess in a hull access, so let me find that. I have a new mouse, by the way, so now I don't have to worry about scrolling like I used to. I can just be all willy-nilly scrolling. My last mouse, the scroll wheel started dying, I don't know, probably like a year ago. And if you scrolled with it, you would go down like 2, but then you'd come back up 1 to 3. It was kind of random, so you may just not make any progress when you were trying to scroll through a document.
My mouse does that too.
Yeah, well, I got a new mouse, and it's a Razer mouse, and it has lights on it, and I don't know what to do with all this shit. I'm too old for this shit. Just give me a regular. I literally wanted a mouse with a fucking wire on it, so I could stop changing batteries every couple weeks. Let's see.
You want to see the horror? Do you see I have a mouse?
I see it. I'm looking at a very small window of you, though.
Look, it has a ball.
Oh, wow! Oh, man. What do they call it? A trackball? Is that what they called it?
I have a thumb trackball mouse.
Oh, my God.
This is not a desk.
No, it's not. That's amazing. So you guys are in a hull access, and as you can probably see, you don't have much visibility inside for obvious reasons. You do have, I do have something of an official description here, but it's very limited and very minimal. The hull has been torn open here. You guys can squeeze your way through and gain entrance to the ship. Isn't that a great descriptor for where you are in the ship? I will point out that one thing you guys had noticed last week is that if you recall, you were sent down here under the premise that the ship had only been here for, crashed roughly 6 weeks ago. And judging by the amount of vegetation overgrowth and growing into the ship at this point, now that you're entering it, it's been here a lot longer than just 6 weeks. It's probably been here for months. Anywhere you look around in the hull, you've got, inside the ship, vegetation. The evidence of vegetation creeping into the ship is just prevalent. It's unavoidable, unmistakable. And in some portions of the deck plating, not necessarily the deck plating, but like the walls, the ceilings, you actually can see sections that are just covered in black mold. Like, it's been here for a while, damp, overgrown, vegetation, everything. This is not what you were led to believe. And you guys figured that out shortly after you showed up on scene, because you did have that brief cutaway, as it were, between Pike and Gannon, who, by the way, is currently no token for on the board. But we're just going to say he's riding along in Pike's pocket for all intents and purposes. So if Pike goes down, Gannon might go down. So that'll be fun.
So if we, just because it's relevant to earlier conversations, if we just casually pry up one of the deck plates, does it have the remnants of heating elements?
If you decided to do that, I think what you would see is a bunch of rusted out or mossy bits of like roots and leaves, pieces of vegetation debris that have managed to work its way under and then die. I think that's what you find. If there's heating elements that work, they are.
I don't expect them to work. I just want to see if there's little bits of them behind.
Oh, yeah, there might be, but it's almost difficult to tell
if
they were.
Have a higher budget.
The Russians come on. Yeah, I think if there were heating elements, they would be difficult to find, and they absolutely do not work anymore. They have just been corroded out.
Okay.
That's pretty funny that you bring that back to episode 2. Why can't we have heated tiles? 2? Like, how hard is this? All right, what do you want to do? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we got our orders, right?
Yeah. Your mission is, in short, investigate so that Gannon can try to determine what brought the ship down, recover the flight recorder, recover any survivors, and blow this thing to hell. And you have 2 out of the original 3 QTC barrels.
Right. So we've got our tech team that's going to go try to see if there's any salvageable comms and try to get that ship-mounted weapon working.
Okay.
I'm taking Gannon to find the flight recorder and to check to see if we can find cryo on any survivors.
So you're going to do the thing that no player should do, but also the thing that drives most GMs nuts. You're going to split the party. Is that what I'm hearing?
It makes sense in character.
It does make sense in character, but all right. Go ahead and move a few squares along. At least in the general vicinity, on the map, you can only really see left or right.
So you know that the
Watt steps forward and looks like
the gun's probably over here somewhere from what you remember from the exterior of the ship.
Yeah, the gun mount is up in this vicinity.
So Watts very carefully pokes his head around the corners to look.
Okay.
Is there any lighting here?
It's pretty dark. And you could probably if you could figure out where the engineering is, you might be able to reestablish some sort of power, but there's no guarantee based on how much vegetation you're.
Well, then he pops on his shoulder-mounted lamp.
Yeah, and we're simulating that with the visibility that you guys have. That's what your lights are picking up. But yeah, it looks like it's the biggest thing. Like I said, I keep using this word over and over, but just think every time you ask a question, just remember vegetation. So
is the doorway in front of him? Is it damaged, rusted shut, or anything like that. He's just taking a moment to like
You're talking
examine.
about right here, right?
Yes, the thingy that looks like a door right in front of Watts. He's taking a moment to examine it to see what the state of the ship door stuff is right now.
Sure. Let me find that particular. Doesn't specify about the door. So the door is closed. It looks like there's some metal scrapings, or not metal, I'm sorry, scrapes and dents in the door around the handle. There's even what appears to be a little bit of like metal shavings on the floor, where it looks like somebody maybe had tried to get in, but either gave up or just was ultimately unsuccessful. There is another door further down to your left.
Are they electronically locked doors? Are they sliding doors? Or are these just, they got door handles?
I would hate to make you make a roll just to figure that out. So I'm going to say what it looks like is that they need some sort of power to open, but they can be opened physically.
Okay, I'm assuming that these are doors that are designed to be airtight in a vacuum.
I would imagine to some degree.
At some point, I would expect there to be
I mean, that's a safe
doors.
bet engineering wise. Like each room should be able to have at least a modicum of, what's the word I'm looking for? Ability to be pressurized or depressurized.
Mm-hmm.
But
so he mostly is just trying to examine so to get around in the ship, if they're all pressure doors that require power, then he should be prioritizing getting power back on. It's kind of the thought path he was going down there.
Yeah. And that's not an unreasonable assumption to make at this point. I will point out that, like, from what you can see on the door, it doesn't look like someone tried very hard, but maybe, let me figure out how to phrase this.
There are tool marks like someone was here before us.
It's really the only way to do it without making you roll for it. So,
yeah,
which would be observation.
No, I don't remember if your team has a maintenance jack, but it's specifically designed to open doors like that.
Yeah,
with this bonus to heavy machinery.
I'm pretty sure it gives you a +1 to heavy machinery. Doesn't
yeah. So you know where the maintenance jack is?
It's back on the ship.
Your locker?
No, it's on the Tamatam, burning down right now.
No.
Or not the Tamatam, the Cheyenne.
The Cheyenne.
It's burning. It's on fire right now.
His maintenance jack and his Sebring kit probably did not. If I had thought about grabbing it, I probably would have, but I didn't say I did. So it's
Well, if you didn't have it on your person, it's
in my inactive, so it is not on my person.
Yeah, it's not.
It was in the additional stuff we put on our vehicle in case we want it.
Yeah.
Section.
Yeah, and well, you didn't get a vehicle either. You got the whole mission was on foot.
Yeah,
jungle terrain. What's that?
This is the Cheyenne.
Yeah. My bad.
Okay, look, he had it on the Cheyenne with the assumption that if we truly needed it, we could step back, call the Cheyenne to come give us some additional supplies, and then we can start breaking into shit.
Yeah,
like it wouldn't make sense to carry around some heavy ass gear.
Yeah, you wouldn't be dragging the barrels with you if you had the Cheyenne still flying around doing orbits. You'd be like, hey, we found it. Why don't you land over there and we'll come get the barrels so we can blow this place to hell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
while you're examining that door, Pike is going to start heading in this direction.
Yeah, go ahead. Excuse me. Go ahead and move Pike to
Sergeant Pike. Where I'm gonna have to start on finding power for these doors. Otherwise, we're gonna have a lot of trouble getting in anywhere.
Speaking of hell divers,
can we force them?
With great effort and a distinct lack of automated tools to assist us.
Cool.
Cool, make it happen. That's what I heard. I'm sorry. Yeah, don't let me interrupt.
5-minute check-ins.
You get a nod from both Wescott and Watts.
And that counts for you two outside as well. If you can't speak,
radios.
Yeah, I imagine everybody has like at least some sort of radio good for like a couple hundred. Or
like if you in the movie they had the single headset with the boom on all the helmets, so everyone has a radio.
All right,
and I think it's listed in the book, but I think it's safe to say that you got a roughly 1,000-meter range on that thing.
I think it's actually incorporated into the helmet description, if I remember right.
Same thing with the infrared, but if you see something you can't speak, just key the mic twice, and we'll know not to blow your position.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. The helmet is equipped with a full motion tracking camera, and passive infrared sight and IFF.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got electronics in our armor and helmets.
Yep.
I mean, we got the cameras and everything. There's just nobody hooked up in an APC to watch our cameras.
Nope. And if they were hooked up in the Cheyenne, they're barbecue.
Yeah, and the armor is actually the component with the built-in comms.
Yeah, there you go. All right, go ahead and move yourselves a few squares in whatever direction you're going. Or, to the next turn or door, I guess, because it doesn't make sense to do this a few squares at a time otherwise. And then, all right. See what you guys see.
I don't see anything.
Pike sees the muster station, which is open. Who's that? Oh, that's Wescott and her buddy.
Mm-hmm.
There. Okay, let's do Pike first. Muster station, which is what you're close to. You see in the distance, you kind of see through with your flashlight bouncing off of stuff. You see some firefighting gear. You see some what look like compression suits or pressure suits, maybe even vacuum suits, locked inside glass-fronted lockers. And of course, everything is just covered in this slick-pedaled plant that has a strong irritant smell to it. It's actually, if you recall from the itchy plant from earlier, last session or two, this is the spiky-leafed plant that made everybody itchy. And in some cases, there were allergic reactions.
Yeah.
As determined by random dice rolls. I would imagine with some careful movement, because I don't have anything specific in here as far as how to avoid if you roll this or that.
We already know what it is because we already fucked this up before. So
yeah, so yeah, I don't think we need to do like mobility rolls to avoid making physical contact. We can just assume you're going to do that.
Okay.
And then for who's this other one? Watts? Is that who that is?
Uh-huh.
You see, you've got actually, your flashlights go down. Let me get to that part. That section. Second here. Find it. Crap, that's a section. Here we go. You see at the end of the hallway there a technical area. There's a bunch of different sensors and workstations and things of that nature. It looks like this might be an area where people would be working on different electronic equipment based on the things that you see in there. Of course, there's also vegetation and all sorts of roots, leaves, things of that nature. There's also a fairly decent layer of mucky water. The closer you get to it, the deeper it gets. But it doesn't get any deeper than roughly ankle to mid shin, if that makes any sense. Like you're not gonna be swimming in it here shortly, but it definitely goes, up the boot, as it were. And I don't mean trunk, Mr. Canada.
To be fair, the boot is a European thing.
Okay, you know what? You're right. I'll concede that one. My bad. I'll shut up now.
So it's easy to make assumptions that you guys do the things the European way when you still have a crown.
Wow. Okay, let's stop hating on Luke and or Canada before this goes too far. I'm just teasing. I was teasing.
Oh my.
I don't know about Kane. That crown notice there was pretty good.
Yeah, I swear no allegiance.
Wescott, you have that door right there in front of you. More or less the similar description. It looks like it needs power to open, or you can do, physically open it.
Yeah, she's not messing with the door. She's just keeping, an eye on the surroundings, watching Watts' back.
Okay.
Watts is I can see traps and other miscellaneous stuff better, so he's walking in the front. Okay. And I'm, following up behind him, doing support buddy things.
Let me get an observation roll from Watts. And let me switch it over to this view. Oh, there it goes.
Ooh.
Let's see. No successes on 7 dice. That's
Here we go.
that's unfortunate.
Nah, he is not going to push it at this time.
There we go. That's what I want. It's better. Okay. All right, you're not gonna push it, you said?
No, not now.
Okay. All right.
Because this isn't a stressful enough situation for him to feel like he should be pushing it. This feels like
just a normal walk
suck. It's the normal suck. It's not scary suck.
I was gonna say it's not a walk in the park, but it's a walk through a busted up ship, half buried in mud, water, and all sorts of leaves and shit. Okay. In that case, let's go back to Pike. You're over here in the what looks like some sort of muster station or damage control area. What would you like to do, sir? You and Mr. Gannon, the NPC who knows everything about corporate life and nothing about the marine life.
Hey, Gannon.
Yeah.
Do you have a flashlight?
That's a great question. Let me see if he came with one. I don't think he did. Inventory. Oh, he's got the pups. So, no, actually, this is what he says. He says, I don't have a flashlight, but I have this. And he pulls this little silver, not a thermal detonator from Star Wars, out of his pocket. And he clicks a couple of times and he chucks it up in the air a little bit. And it just does this little arcs up, comes down, and then floats about face level. And then it does little inquisit. I'm sorry, I watched our episode earlier, and I heard myself say that in the background for the Serval skull. Anyway, yeah, it does the pup thing. It has a little ring of red lights that starts going around, and it starts maneuvering on way down. And then you see Gannon pull his PDAD out, and he says, "Actually, just give me a few minutes, and let's see what we got coming up on the pup." I totally forgot that he had the pups.
Let's I want to see. We're gonna move up into the muster station.
Okay.
You can pick a spot to sit down, not on them, not on the spiky plants, and I'm gonna see if I can find you a flashlight, anyways. And then we'll wait and see what the pups finds.
Okay.
So we'll move into the muster station.
All right. Yep. And he will definitely. There's nothing that he could sit on that isn't already overgrown or soaked in muckish, brackish water, or covered in black mold, or any variation or combination of those three. So he just kind of stands staring at his PDAT, waiting for all the data to come in, and he sees a two-dimensional like holographic map coming together. Unfortunately, it's taking a few minutes because it's just the one up, and it can't open doors or anything of that nature.
No, but it can go through vents and stuff to map this whole thing out. So
yeah, it'll just take a long time to do it because, of course, the vegetation's getting in the way. Wescott and Watts, we
would advance up to the next doorway and look around because honestly, we don't feel like going off to the side yet.
Okay. You go into this area, and it looks like you have found the power station. Also, there is a silver ball floating overhead that just kind of scoots by, going inquisit. Sorry, that's just gonna be an in-canon joke now, as far as I'm concerned.
I can't go.
Huh?
Did our insurance adjuster pull a pup out of his pocket?
Oh, are you saying that to Watts?
No, I called Pike.
Oh.
On the radio. He's like, did our insurance adjuster just pull a pup out of his pocket?
Yeah, he's mapping the ship.
Okay. I think it looks like we might have found one of the power stations. We'll have to start digging into it to see if this is the primary or secondary.
Well, just let me know when you get one of your two jobs done or you get stuck and you can't progress.
Will do.
All right, so the power station here, as you can see, it's not terribly large. I believe there's a scale on this map somewhere that you probably can't see, but I think each square is just a couple meters across, like 3 by 3, I believe. So anyway, this is a power station. It's batteries here. There's a lot of overgrowth and some water, roughly ankle deep or so. There does appear to be an open hatch and a ladder in the floor leading to a lower deck, and that is this right here.
It's got to be completely flooded.
Oh yeah,
there's no way it's not.
Yeah, if you poke your head over and shine your flashlight down, you just see the light reflecting off of brackish black water underneath. It's difficult to make out much. It's difficult to make out much detail under there.
Just great.
Looking at the batteries, it does appear as though it doesn't look like they're damaged or incapable of being started up, but it may take some work to clear out vegetation that's grown inside the panels and things of that nature. So you're going to need a heavy machinery roll. There's going to be a modifier on it, but it looks like you might be able to coax these bad boys back to life. They're somewhat salvageable at first glance.
Awesome.
So, if you're going to make that roll, let me know, because then I will tell you what your Jesus Christ, modifiers are. Yes. What almost came out of my mouth. I had to stop myself.
That seems like a okay, well. Watts, I'll have Watts dig into it as I post up to cover him while he's working on stuff.
Sure. Watts, when you're ready, I need a heavy machinery roll, and you're gonna have to re-roll that. It's gonna be a -2. So it'll be -2 dice. I'm pretty sure if you just right-click on it, and then you can add in the modifier. For
-2?
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. It's good, and it takes some time to. Oh, that's bad news. Kane, I'm gonna need your technical expertise in this game.
Okay.
Well, no, let me rephrase that. Do you want to push?
Yeah, I think he would push this one because this is one of the goals that he
would. Ooh, yep, and he gets a stress penalty or panic roll. Jesus Christ.
So yeah, let me roll the stress real quick.
Uh-oh.
Oh, great.
He's good.
Oh, he's good. He does not have stress.
Yeah, he has nerves of steel.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay. You do get 2 successes, but with that panic roll, that doesn't affect the total amount. Well, it even says right there, you have a total of 2 successes, so. Okay, never mind. My previous statement of maybe needing Kane's previous experiences with this game are now moot. You can choose 3 sections of this ship to provide power to. And that's more or less what Watts tells you. He's like, I can provide some power to some areas for some time. What would you like me to turn on?
Nothing yet. I'm not turning on. There doesn't make sense to turn on into something we have not yet secured.
That's okay. Watts just looks at you, and this is also somewhat my smart ass, but also Watts is like, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's like, there's a reason why you're a corporal and I'm a PFC.
He just gets the deadpan look of
yeah, of course.
Why, yes, Watts. This is why you do what you're told.
This is why you do what you're told, and I get paid to think. Speaking of thinking, Watts is gonna say, maybe check in with old Sarge down there, see if he needs something turned on down that way.
Sounds like you hear Pike on the radio. Sound off.
Because it's been 5 minutes. Yeah, that was a solid turn. Like, that was a solid turn right there to clear that shit out, by the way, for him to get that power on. Or be able to, like, the batteries, you hear the batteries come up after a while, cleaning all that shit out. The batteries like, I don't know how much of that actually got picked up on the mic, but.
Oh, yeah, I heard it.
Okay, good.
So, yeah. Watts Wescott reporting. Looks like we have enough batteries to power up 2, potentially 3 areas.
Winston and Warren sounding off. Still don't see anything out here.
Winston and Warren, one of you, I do need an observation roll, please.
Yep.
Me doing this flip back and forth thing.
Hello, Copper.
Any modification or?
Nope. It's regular observation roll. 1 success. Okay. As you guys are calling in, just checking in and whatnot, you happen to notice just above the tree line, but it looks like it's pretty far off. There seems to be some sort of dark speck moving through the air at a high rate of speed. and then it's gone.
So we may have some company looking for us if they don't already think we're dead.
We don't know if they're good guys or not.
Yeah.
Can you?
If they don't think we're already dead out there.
Can you give me something more specific than that?
I mean, more specific would be a black speck flying across the sky. It could be a supersonic bird. Do you know any of those?
All right, take your smart ass in through the hull access and guard the hallway there.
I was waiting for that NCO standard response to sarcasm number 1. I also wanted to be a smart ass and be like, nope, the GM didn't give me any more information, so that's all I can tell you.
There's no use in getting spotted from the air right now.
No. Not yet.
Wescott, you said you've got limited power?
I have the potential for powering up to 3 areas based on the functional batteries in this power station.
Can you tell if there's any other power running elsewhere?
Ooh.
We haven't checked for that yet. We can if next though.
Are the panels in there labeled? Would you know what you're powering up, or would you just be sort of crap shooting random circuits?
They're at least vaguely labeled. I would have to be sitting there semi-translating because they're obviously in Cyrillic.
Okay. I want you to check and see if you can find the circuits for cryogenics and the flight deck. Don't turn them on yet, but I just want to know that you can turn them on for me when I'm ready.
Yeah. Based on a ship of this size, I think it's probably safe to say that once power station doesn't supply the entire ship, but I look through the labels to see if there is one that looks like something flight or something cryo or something sleeping or barracks or anything of that nature. You know, keywords that I could probably guess at.
You find a series of Cyrillic letters that spell, from what you can recognize and remember from the very cursory Russian training you've had, it spells the word Doma, which is Russian for house or home. And there's other letters in there there's other letters in that word, so Doma, house or home, is clearly a part of the word, not the entire word. And I know that because of Duolingo.
God. Is Russian one of those ones where they do compound words like German?
Kind of.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, every language has some form of those compound words where you have a root word and you add shit on top of it. You get a new word similar.
Yeah. Looks, Pike, calm up. Radioness. Sergeant Pike, looks like we...
I'm sorry. I'm easily abused. Don't let my laughing interrupt you.
Do you see this right here behind my head? This is why I have cat hair stuck in my hair.
Yep.
Yeah. He's sitting here purring, expecting pets.
Of course.
It's cats, man. He only does it in the evening. It is pretty entertaining. But in any case, I would call you on the radio and say, yeah, Pike, it looks like we have access. This power station serves one of their Doma, which honestly, translating from Cyrillic, sounds like some variety of house or home base, which most likely is probably barracks or cryospace. They're not, obviously. Basic training has been a while. Cyrillic wasn't one of my specialties. So, best I can guess is some keyword potential.
It's a good thing that you're going to get all these experience points to dump into skills.
I think Kane is talking quietly, because I don't hear Kane talking.
Do you think you can handle powering up both of those spaces and have enough juice left over to operate the weapons in comms?
I mean, I could power the flight deck if you want sensors, but that would require external components being intact. So I could probably guarantee one. I can get you flight deck and Doma, but if we can find the power station that controls flight deck, but I'm not sure what type of draw the weapons or the comms would need. So potentially, but no way to know until I have hands on them. It's tech I don't know. It's not a. It's a non.
I'm a Marine, not an
ship,
engineer.
So, no, a Marine, not an engineer, and it's not one of our ships. So even what little specs I wouldn't know don't apply.
Makes sense.
And Watts probably has a bit more familiarity, and he says same thing. Probably no way to know until we have hands on all the sides that you might want.
All right. Well, you're the experts. I'm gonna keep looking for those 2 rooms, anyways.
Mhm.
If I find them, I'll let you know to give it a shot, and we'll see if we can get some power up in the rooms. If not, then we'll do what we gotta do.
Sounds good.
All right. What are we doing?
Is it my turn or Pike's turn?
Well, Pike is up, but I want to ask: are we turning anything on power related?
No, I'm
Okay.
not turning on anything until I have an explicit order to do so,
Okay.
or it is necessary due to the circumstances.
Fair enough. Just wanted to check before I got moved on. Pike, you've got you're in the muster station area, and for some reason you could see portions of the hull that aren't actually on the map or something. But whatever. You've got the one door there that, like all the other doors you've seen so far, looks like they could be physically opened with some effort. Or if power was on to those particular sections.
Well, this would be the front of the ship, from what we could tell.
Yeah, what I was referring to, on my screen, this area here is visible to you. For some reason.
I can't. It's fog of war.
Oh,
okay. It's not current. I can't see any tokens.
Oh, that's okay. All right, never mind then.
Oh, look over Gannon.
Yeah.
How's the pups doing?
Looks like I don't know what the rules are. I'm just gonna say it's gonna be at least a few more turns before you have anything comprehensible as far as the walkable areas. If you want anything more than that, i.e. digging through vents, it's gonna take a lot longer because I'm sure the vents are covered in all sorts of animal and or plant material.
All right. Well, don't move. I'm gonna try to open this door. Okay. If we can go towards the front of the ship, maybe we can find the flight deck, get that flight recorder while your pups is working.
I mean, that sounds like the good place for the flight center. I'm not a military guy, so I wouldn't know that putting the flight deck in the middle of the ship is the safest place for it.
Well, I don't know if this is a military ship or what kind of ship it is, so I'm just going to make some guesses.
That's also a fair point. I was just referring...
Just because it has one gun on the outside does not a military ship make.
I was also making an oddball reference to how Star Trek always puts the bridges the most sensitive,
the worst places.
Yeah, like right at the very, very top.
If you have a window, you should not put important things in there. When you're in space.
No, you shouldn't have windows in space. Period.
So I would like to try to. Whoops. I would like to try to force this door open.
Okay. Either heavy machinery, strength, if you want to do that. If you have a maintenance jack, you can use that as a bonus, or not a bonus, but it gives you a bonus.
I can make a strength check.
I don't have any specific rules for these doors, so I'm kind of winging it.
If you tell me I can roll strength, I'll roll strength.
I'm sure strength is going to be higher than your heavy machinery.
Well, I mean, it's a heavy machinery skill.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and give me that roll there. 2 successes. You find this door to be easy to open. I mean, it takes some effort, don't get me wrong. Like, you could feel your muscles bulging and you gotta literally put your back into it, but it doesn't take much more than the initial shove or pull to get it to pop open.
I would like to spend my extra success on not having to overcome a similar challenge in the future.
So the next time you want to open a door, it should be relatively easy. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I think I figured out this kind of door.
I figured out if I lean this way, pull that way, and push here, it pops right open.
Yeah,
amazing.
There's a pretty audible grunt. It's just like just pushes it back into the wall and shines the light in the room.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those. It's like the door is relatively easy to open, except for the fact that the door, it seems pretty heavy, or there's definitely resistance because it's meant to be moved hydraulically or what have you. This room has collapsed and been filled in with mud. it's actually pretty hard to tell what this room once was, other than the fact it says something right there on the map. It looks like if you were to dig through the mud, you could, in theory, one day eventually tunnel your way out of here. But it does not look like that would be a wise course of action, especially since the hull access that you came in is probably 20 meters behind you.
Yeah. I will just like step in and take a peek.
Okay.
And yeah, just pan around with the light, see what I can see. Does it look like anybody else has tried to tunnel around in here? Or
no,
any animals are living in here?
It's literally like the structure of this part of the ship has collapsed or was damaged in the initial crash, and then later succumbed to the weight of the mud and shit around it. And then once it gave, all the mud just flooded in. It just wasn't sufficient to actually like flood the entire room.
Say Gannon.
Mm-hmm.
If the flight deck is, say, has a ceiling height and measured in millimeters instead of feet, could we try to pull that flight information from the main computer?
Not entirely sure what you're asking. You started throwing metric at me, and I'm really confused now.
Look, we're the United America's military. We use both in the most inconvenient ways.
That sounds so fucking real, too. It's 100 meters down there, but I need you to drag 50 pounds of shit to get there.
Yeah.
How are those two? How are they comparable like that? I don't get it.
The short answer, Gannon, is there's no front of the ship.
Oh,
if the flight recorder was supposed to be there, I'm trying to figure out if there's another way we can get this done.
The ship's got to have a computer, I guess. Is that where you were going with that? I feel like that's where you were going.
Yeah, computer, and at least on all the ships that I've been on, the computer cores have been more central to the ship.
Yes, that because they would probably be, more important, I suppose, since Mother is the one that tends to do all the work anyway. Or well, I guess
whatever
Ivan.
It is the commies use.
Yeah, I've heard they call him Ivan. Maybe they call him Pyotr. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not Russian. Clearly.
Do you think you could pull the data you need from their computer if we can find the computer core?
It's a safe bet. Maybe the flight recorder's in the computer, or a backup or something. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm not. It's definitely worth checking out.
All right. Well, there's no front of the ship, so we'll see what else we find.
That's. If I didn't stand inside it, that would have been a very disturbing thing to hear.
I mean, we're standing in it, and it's pretty fucking distressing already as it is.
It is. Sips water.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and make sure you've got one hand holding on one of the straps on my bag. That way you don't get lost in the dark.
Yeah. I noticed you didn't find a flashlight for me, so I gotta stick pretty close to you here.
Nothing in this room is gonna work.
Yeah.
Do you want to have that rash on your hands for a flashlight that's not gonna work anyways?
That's, you know what? No, I don't. I saw that rash hit your skin. That did not look good.
Yeah, I about ripped this. I about just tore all this flesh off my fucking body.
I think Gannon's like, I don't know if that was the rash or your fingernails, but it did not look good, period.
So yeah, we're gonna start heading this way while his pups are doing its thing.
Do you wanna try popping that door before we move on to the other team?
Sure.
Actually, let's hold you there, and then let me get to the other team, who is over here. You are in something of a four-way intersection where the power station is kind of built into it. You do have, as you can see on your map, you do have a couple of options. Which way would you like to go?
I think we're going to keep walking straight. So we come up, we peek around, come up to the next set of intersection.
Okay. Central access way. Let me see if I have an entry for that. Remember if I did, and I typed this all up. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. So this main corridor, as you're moving along, you see it has yellow-green, hairy vegetation hanging in strands from the ceiling, black-colored mold and other plant life growing along the walls. Guess what? We're doing combat.
Oh God! Do I need to back my people up because they would have just slowly made their way to the next intersection?
No. If you notice, you've been dropping through ankle-deep water for a hot minute. Give me a second here. I gotta figure out what I'm looking for. See if that worked. Let's not do that. You see in the water ahead of you. I believe you can see those icons there.
Yes, they look like paws.
Yes. You have not yet encountered this critter, so let me pull up its character sheet really quick. That open. What? Let's see. I don't have a description here, do I? Oh, I do. Well, no, I don't. Ooh, it's this guy. This thing is called a running flatfish, and I thought I had notes for it specifically somewhere nearby.
Ew.
Give me just a second to see if I can find it.
I'm envisioning an evil stingray with spikes.
No, it's not terrible. Bad.
Or one of those humongously overgrown walking catfish.
It's see, give me a second. I think I have notas. I'm trying to find it. I know I had something about running flatfish in here before.
If it's a monster, it probably has its own entry in the actors thing.
Yeah, it's in there, the character sheet or whatever. It just doesn't have specific like description of what it looks like and whatnot. So I'm gonna go off with what it sounds like until I either find something better or somebody proves me wrong, I suppose. You see rippling in the water ahead of you, on the opposite side of this intersection, and it's coming towards you rather quick. It looks kind of like a stingray. Not quite as wide, like a manta ray, you know, the wide flappy wing bits, but it's definitely got the ripply wing bits, if that makes any sense, as it floats through the water. And they are coming right at you. So let me see if I remember how to do this. Hey, look, there we go. And then I need to roll NPCs, roll all. There's your initiatives. Oh, look at that. King, Mark, toggle. You know what would be really cool? Kane, is there... So we have 2 NPC combatants here. Is there a way to click on either their token or their initiative marker to have them make their attack? Or do I have to have a character sheet open to do that? You know?
I mean, you just double click on the token.
Can I? I didn't know double clicking was a thing.
If you double click the token, it opens the sheet for that token.
Oh, I see. Yes. Okay.
So you track the health that way so that it stays separate between sheets that are instanced for that token, and you can roll the attacks from there.
That's what I needed. That's what I needed to figure out. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, so these things are kind of scooting up on you pretty quick here as I try to organize my workspace, because as I have a wide monitor, it's not big enough for what I need. Okay, that'll work. Okay. Of course, I don't know, looking at the initiative order, which one is which, but I guess it doesn't matter as much because both of mine are moving before both of you. Attack roll for number 1.
Do you want me to roll anything, or am I just assuming I'm not beating them?
Oh, shoot. Say that one more time? Sorry.
Do you need me to roll something?
Nope, initiative is already rolled.
Okay.
Or cards dealt. I just have to do that. I forgot to actually start the combats. Now, disregard that first roll. Is this the placement you're going with Watts up front and Wescott right behind him?
Yeah, she would have given him a little bit more space, so it's just easier to drag it like that, but yeah.
Yeah, now that I know comments about to happen, yeah, Watts, take an extra 4 steps ahead of me.
Honestly, she would be just outside of the arm, like she step forward arm length, you know? Because if he needs to step back or move quick, if I'm like right up on him, he doesn't have the space to do what he needs to do.
I got you.
I'm not crowding my buddy.
Yeah. All right, so the first one is making its attack. It misses, I think. Because it's not showing. Yeah, we'll just go with a miss. And then the second one, making its attack. Well, that's not good. All right, Kane, this is where I need your experience one more time. So, this second running flatfish swips around the first one that missed Watts. It basically... Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, good. My lights just like totally flickered all across my apartment. Thought I was about to lose power. Okay. Yeah, so the first flatfish runs up, or swims up, I should say. And like it looks like it makes a pass at Watts. Watts does this weird like, what the fuck is that? Because he didn't get a chance to react before it got too close. And then in the process of doing that, the second one comes up and latches on to a thigh. Now, I need to make the human victim. So the flatfish makes a base attack with 5 dice. Poisonous Bite has 1 damage. On a hit, the human victim must make a sickness roll against virulence 6. Can you break that down for me, please?
Okay, so first it has to make the attack. So it needs to roll those 5 base dice.
It did.
And did it got at least 1 success?
Yes, it had like 2 or 3.
Okay.
Which for some reason is not showing in the die roll on my log. You guys can't say because I'm doing private rolls, but
okay. So Watts has the ability now to give up his fast action to try to roll close combat to block it.
Okay.
As long as he hasn't acted yet in the initiative, which it sounds like he's
next.
They're going first.
Yeah.
So he can give up his fast action now to try to roll close combat to try to stop this from hitting.
Okay. Would Watts like to do close combat?
Or would he like to keep his fast action?
All right.
Roll stress.
Yeah, roll stress, my friend.
It's beautiful.
But Watts has nerves of steel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, why is it the button flickering on me? Give me just a minute.
Panic condition, maybe? Oh, he's good. He keeps his shit in order. I want to see what his fucking stress is at, though.
2.
Oh, yeah, no, he's good. What's nerves of steel give? Like a -2 modifier or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a -2 modifier to all panic rolls. Frankly, it's an amazing talent, and I have a feeling everyone wants it.
Yeah, I think so.
Going to want it soon.
He's gonna start having a Zen Buddhist meditation training or something to keep people calm.
No. We all get to sit at a poker game, and every time we lose a hand, we get to pay mumbly pegs or something. Yes.
Okay. So you did not block the attack, so the attack goes through.
So now it'll do 1 damage for the 1 success.
Okay.
And then it has the additional successes that it can spend like it would on any other close combat roll.
Okay.
So that's the next step.
Watts takes 2 damage. You have armor that you can mitigate that.
Okay, so
because I don't remember if I rolled 2 successes or 3, so we'll go with 2.
So it's right now we're looking at taking 2 damage. So now Watts is going to roll armor to see if his armor takes it.
It is not armor piercing.
So he gets his full normal armor roll. So he blocks 1. So he's going to take 1 point of damage.
Yeah.
Now we have an opposed roll. The DM is going to roll a number of dice equal to the virulence rating.
Okay, so I'm rolling, and that's just straight 6 base dice. Okay.
Right. Only 6s count for you.
Ooh, 2 successes.
Okay, now the victim has to roll stamina.
Against the 2 successes, correct?
This is the contested roll. He wants to meet or exceed 2 successes.
Okay. He did.
He meets, so he's not affected by the poison.
Okay. All right, so that's how that works. Okay. So I'm rolling a number of dice equal to the virulence. The opponent is rolling stamina and attempting to make or beat or exceed whatever the number of successes I have. That's how that works. Okay, all right, because that wasn't like when I was looking at it in the book a week or two ago. It wasn't adding up. Like I couldn't figure out like how exactly am I doing that? Watts ducking, dodging, diving, dipping almost at one point, bitten, taking a little bit of damage. Now there's a little bit of blood in the water. It is now Watts' turn, and he has at least one of these fuckers in engaged range, which is effectively melee range. And then the other one has kind of circled back out for another pass, which will go with the order that they're in right here. So the one directly in front of him, or the one closest to him, is the one in engaged. The one back is I guess one zone, whatever it is.
Yeah. I have the distinct feeling he is about to rifle butt this thing currently hanging off of his leg.
Yeah.
Is that I mean, he's obviously just like mashing it with the thing in his hands. So is that a close combat roll?
That would be close combat.
Okay.
Is there?
I mean, it's kind of dumb to punch things, so he's going to use the really big boom stick in his hands to smack it instead.
Yeah.
Voila, close combat.
Well, that's a miss. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It's also unfortunate. What I would have done too is, Kane, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd have to look it up to be sure. It's like 2 or 3 points of damage for, or 1 or 2 points of damage for a melee strike. Does that sound right? You're muted.
The rifle butt's going to be a base of 1.
Okay. And now it is Corporal Wescott's turn to do something here. I will allow the argument that you could, in theory, stand shoulder to shoulder in that hallway. So if you wanted to get up next to Watts to shoot at the further away fish, you could. Or arguably over his head or something. Well, you're short anyway, so that's not going to work.
Click. We got some hostile fish-based wildlife. Unclick. Shoot them.
Okay.
I'm obviously not shooting the one that's on my buddy.
I'm shooting the one
that's down the hallway.
No, you're definitely going for the one in the back. I got you.
Is anyone hurt? Click.
Yeah, she just... you literally hear me say that, and then you hear gunshots.
The unmistakable sound of a pulse rifle going off. That's 3 successes. Would you like to push it to get more?
No.
How would you like to add or apply that damage? You have the base damage.
Crap. I rolled on the wrong person's sheet. Never mind.
Oh, you did roll Watts. All right, I'll allow you to re-roll that for what's her face?
Wescott doesn't have. She has 1 point less of range, so she needs to re-roll it anyways.
Yeah.
Sadness.
You have.
She also has less stress.
You can push that.
That she would push.
Okay. 2 base.
Nothing.
That's. Yeah.
I mean, it's better than flipping out over and ending something.
Yeah. Exactly. And that will take us to the next round. But before I start the next round, Pike and the medic, Winston and Warren. I mean, Winston and Warren have their orders, but Pike, you got the report. Your 2 troopers down the other end of the hallway there, engaged with what sounds like fish, and you hear the unmistakable sound of an M41A fucking pulse rifle blasting away.
All right. I get on. Winston, your team is going to fold in with Wescott, help them out. I'll take your position.
All right. Go ahead and move your pieces around the board there, if you would, please. I will allow that movement for this turn, but you, Winston and Warren, will not be joining until round 3. Joining the actual combat, that is.
Where did I hear the gunfire from?
It would be off.
You honestly, when you come in and you turn in that direction, you would see the light, even if you don't see details.
Yeah, you would definitely see.
Oh, you mean for the
flashlights.
sensor bay?
Yeah, they're Yeah, let me see.
They're not in the sensor bay. They kept going straight, but you would
okay.
you would know that they're down the hallway in that direction because you could see the reflections of the light from his shoulder lamp. They're down
Okay.
towards the power station.
Well, they're past.
Okay.
You guys are past the power station from where you came in.
Yeah, but knowing how the line of sight works, it would be in the direction of the power station.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
All right, so I guess I'm one movement over, and I have to wait until next round.
Yeah, I'll allow you guys to cover that space in the sequence of a turn.
There's zones marked in the hallways, by the way. I'm not sure if you noticed that.
There are.
Yeah.
I'm just GMing that one. That movement rule. Which will take us back to the top of the and the fish that is furthest in the back is going to swing around for another attack. It does have one success, and we're going after Watts again because he's the one closest. So that was one hit. So Watts, you're taking 1 damage.
Does Watts want to try to block?
Yeah. Block.
Yes.
Otherwise, he's going to have 2 fishes chomping on him. Roll your armor to mitigate the damage. It is 1 damage total.
Unless he's going to push it.
Yeah, or push it. Yeah.
Mm.
He's already being nibbled on by 1.
Yeah, he's gonna push this.
Okay. Yeah.
Got what he needed.
Yep. So you definitely butt stroke. That always sounds horrible, but you get the butt of the weapon up to block the fish from coming in. It doesn't do any damage, it feels like, but it was definitely a solid enough hit to keep it from coming in. The second one, already biting on him, does it again. I don't know why it's rolling another. It's weird. You get that was 2 no, that was 1 success. So yeah, the second fish is now also chomping away on him again. The one that already made contact.
Armor roll.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that fish probably broke a tooth on the armor. Holy shit. 4 successes. And I just realized I don't have the rolls up on the screen, but let me do this. All right, and that takes it back to Watts, who is probably getting tired of being fish food.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's got to be some rules about no shooting your own foot off in combat. So he's going to try to, thunk the one on his leg again.
You Marines have a combat knife assigned to them, don't they?
It's not on my sheet.
Nope.
Okay, never mind.
When we did our A and B list, combat knife was an option.
Ah, yes.
He picked up the maintenance check and the cutting torch.
Okay. All right. I do need you to roll.
Because for him, he would prioritize those objects.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That would make sense. I do need that stress roll, which is not going to matter. You did do a point of damage to one of these fish. The closer one, presumably.
Mm-hmm. The one currently chewing on his leg.
Armor. I have 3 armor dice. Yep. So I'm gonna take. What did we say the base damage for the rifle melee?
1.
So that's 1. Okay.
If they have a lot, if they have more health than I do, I'm going to be both sad and amused.
Well,
I hate to break it to you, but most things have more health than you do.
Yeah.
You're pretty. You know that phrase, "geek the mage."
Yeah, she shoots the other one.
You've got the hit dice of a mage. Oh, ooh, hold that panic dice for me. 5. Panic level 7. You got a twitch.
Oh God.
Oh, let's see. In the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range of you, that will be Watts. I will not include the other 2 because theoretically they're still in movement to you.
So Watts now has 4 stress.
Yeah, make sure you update Watts' stress. I'm assuming you just did because you said the number.
Yeah.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like this is the case, but I've been wrong before. Nervous Twitch gives you like a -2 for...
Nope.
Or am I just...
It literally is just what's on there.
It only gives you what's exactly written in there.
Okay, never mind then. Make your... Oh, you made...
So the attack still succeeds because that doesn't supersede the attack, and you do dump your whole magazine into this.
All right. Well, that looks like what's the base damage on the M41A? I just looked at it. It's 2, isn't it?
2.
It's right there in the box. It says damage 2. It's also
it
is
does.
armor piercing.
So that's 3 total damage that I need to roll armor for on this guy.
If she's spending that 6 on damage.
Let me go double check what the other.
I need to slow down a little bit. That's why I'm getting like ahead of myself.
Wait, you position yourself and get to exchange your initiative score with your enemy, taking effect next turn. You can't go back to your earlier initiative. So does that mean I basically get to go before them next round?
You
whichever one you shot at, you get to swap positions. So next round you would be going before the one you just shot.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to do that, please.
Okay, so you're going to commit 2 points of damage and a change in the order. Let me roll my armor.
It's armor piercing.
I'm gonna re-roll that because it's armor piercing. Not that it made a fucking bit of difference. So that fish is now gone. So let me just do.
Oh, nice.
No, I just need to.
But turns out 90 bullets will kill a fish.
Well, you know what? There's probably not much left of that fish. And now, if I'm not, how do I change her in the initiative? Is there a way to do that?
I would assume you change the number to a 6.
Oh yeah. There it goes. Okay.
Cool.
And I didn't need to see that. Okay.
End of round, which means end of round.
Well,
things.
let me add the other 2. Luke, if you could move your 2 icons up, I can now add you to the initiative. Should be there, and then.
And we are 1 section away, right? We're out of close combat area.
Well, that fish that's still alive is attached to Watts.
Yeah.
So you're gonna want to get into engaged range, but otherwise, yes, you are 1. You're in this. Jesus Christ, the zone's.
You're in short range.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go.
Can I get Winston and Warren to roll 1d10 for me real quick? I think that's the easiest way for me to do this until I figure out a better way to add
1d10?
Yeah. Or it's just going to be you rolling it twice. So the first one will be for Winston. The second one will be... Actually...
Okay, so...
Hold on.
Warren first?
Well, just do the... What? No. Go ahead. Disregard. Brain's running too fast. That's 3 for Warren. All right.
Winston,
2. All right, you guys are actually joining the order pretty damn quick. So, oops, let me go. It is now Winston's turn. What are you gonna do there, Mr. Winston? To this fish. So when you show up, you hear yet another burst of pulse rifle ammo being expended. In fact, you don't even hear a burst. It's a stream. Has about 30 to 40 rounds, 50 rounds, 60 rounds. You're not even sure. You stop counting after the first 2 seconds. As Wescott not necessarily goes crazy, but just lets loose and is like, fuck you, you stupid fish. Dumps a full magazine of ammunition, eviscerating whatever this fish was. And when I say fish, again, I want to point out, it's more like a manta.
Like, how big is this thing? Like, it's a whole...
It's not much more than about a foot to a foot and a half in any one direction. It's not terribly huge.
Okay. All right. Winston is actually just gonna stick back.
Okay.
So I guess he's just gonna hold his turn.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Overwatch, is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah,
there is Overwatch.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the first one has been basically pulped, and then the second one is currently gnawing on Watts as you arrive. But Winston is going to reserve his actions for later in the round if necessary. I think that's more D&D than Alien, but whatever. Okay. But that does take it up to Warren.
Warren is going to take out his combat knife and just try to gut that fish
without eviscerating somebody's femoral artery. I hope.
Yeah, that's the idea.
That's the plan. All right.
Yeah.
Now I have to warn you. This is a me thing. Typically, when you're moving into engaged range, so it won't matter. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
So so do I have to describe a little bit about what the plan is?
I believe the words were something to the effect of skewer the fish.
Yeah, if he's on the right leg, then I'm just gonna basically like push Watts like a little bit so that I can get into the fish, and
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got
you.
I got you.
All right.
2 damage
going
on
in.
this roll. That is 3 successes. I get
base damage for a knife is 1.
I just looked at his knife. It says 2.
Does it?
Yeah.
It does.
It is not armor piercing.
Nice.
It is not armor piercing as far as I know. So I get full armor. It doesn't matter. You did 2 damage plus whatever your other. It doesn't matter. The fish dies. Like you stab it, and you don't see any eyes, but you imagine from some of the specs in its coloring that you could see the soul leaving the eyes of this fish.
Excellent.
You have completed combat, and you possibly could have saved your friend's life for all you know at this point, or not your friend, but your partner.
Yeah. So Winston is gonna go in and see if he can treat Watts.
Oh, here for a minute.
If I'm not mistaken, medics don't return hit points. They merely stop you from losing more.
Does that sound right? Is he bleeding or anything? Does he have any illness?
That would be up to Rodance to convey. He's taking 1 point of damage, I think.
Yeah. He's like, it kind of tingles a little weird.
Okay.
But
is he still attached?
Yes. Yeah, the leg's like
that's excellent.
You see, when you look at his leg, you see very clear indicators of bite marks, probably 2 or 3. One that is very obviously the one that caused the most amount of damage. The others look more like nibbles, barely breaking skin and that. You do see what you could only understand it to be some sort of biophysical reaction to some sort of venom or toxin or something of that nature, but it does not appear to have much more effect than a simple I don't know how to explain it, and I'm not a doctor, but like
mosquito bite.
Yeah, like there's swelling or there's like a change in skin tone around that area, but it doesn't seem to be any more debilitating than that.
All right, so Winston slaps Watts's leg where the bite is and goes, "Hey, you'll be fine."
Put some dirt in it. Rub some dirt in it. You'll be all right. Look at that. We survived our second combat encounter.
Oh, yeah. Click. Sergeant Pike, the wildlife is down. Click. I stand there having a moment. Go. I don't like fish. Reload gun.
Just like goes on the comm, and it's like, "We're having fish tonight."
I was just gonna say, we get one of those like the first thing I think of is Lost, where they did like the flash forwards and the flashbacks and the flash sideways.
Oh God!
We get like a flash forward to like a couple days later. You guys are just sitting down to a big old fish fry. And there's like just nothing but loaves of bread and all kinds of like condiments and shit.
Yeah. Yep. Pike just says, "Bag it. Come take your position."
Yeah. Awesome. Do I just go back?
That's up to Pike.
Yeah. Yeah, Pike wants you to take your position.
All right. Well, we're back.
Pike, you see the doc and his wingman, who may or may not have once upon a time been a part of some organized crime family.
No, that was Watts.
It was what? I thought it was Warren. No, Warren's the shitbag.
Warren's the war heater, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. The war hero.
Shitbag.
Wow.
That's a specific term in the military.
Yeah. Yeah.
It very literally means exactly what you think it means.
He's the section shitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got the manta ray in tow, and he's like, we dealt with it.
I'm just picturing 550 cord tied to like some fin or tail, and he's just dragging it through the water behind him.
He's got it he put it against the back of his pack and just tied it to the back of the pack.
I was starting to think 100-mile-an-hour tape. Which, by the way, is just duct tape, except it's sturdier.
It's just green.
Yeah, it's green duct tape.
Yeah, just sort of nod approvingly, and then I will rip this door open. Yeah, and then I'm gonna rip this door open.
Okay, go ahead and make your. Oh, let me get the dice roll thing back out. Go ahead and make your strength roll there, Mr. Door Ripper Man.
But I spent that extra success for the
doors of the ship. Did you son of a bitch? Okay, yeah, no, the door pops open. Which door was it again? Just so I don't lose my mind. This one here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Let me find that particular entry. There it is. Well, you enter what appears to be a med bay, and there is something that looks like the Russian version of an auto dock.
This is the med bay?
Oh, you went in that room. Shit. I apologize. That is not the med room. Not even close. In fact, it might be considered the opposite.
I mean, I understand that I can't read Cyrillic, but those Cyrillic letters are in a very specific order.
Yeah, those letters are definitely not Cyrillic on my screen either. So I should. That's why I pinged it though, and I pinged the med bay. I don't know if maybe we got confused, but it's fine. When you enter this room, which there is not an auto dock of any sort, there is 3 prison cells in here. They're all empty. There is an empty weapons rack along the back wall, and it looks like it was pulled away from the wall a little bit at one point. There is no ammo in here of any sort. It looks like drawers to a desk are pulled out and laying on the floor, upside down. It looks like, if anything, like this place has been ransacked. And then somebody managed to close the door behind them on the way out for some strange reason. You do need to make an observation roll to get any more information than that. Wait, no, hold that. No, that was all the information there was. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It is an empty guard room / brig.
Nope, then I shrug and let me know when Pike continues to move.
All right. That takes us to the other team. Which is further down the hallway than what my map shows me, so. All right. For Wescott and Watts, you are at something of a 4-way intersection again. There is a dead fish floating in the water, fully perforated. It's actually sinking right now.
Yeah, so Watts would just a dead end hallway. Looks like collapsed hallway.
Oh yeah, it's definitely collapsed, water pouring in. It's really hard. You get to about not quite thigh deep, and you're like, yeah, I can't really move much further, and if I do, I have to go under.
No. So
or run into a wall.
So they would check that, and then they would continue. Stop. Okay, give me a minute. Yep. Character selectee. Behave. Fine. Okay, fine. I won't walk through a wall.
I know, but I'm assuming you wanted Wescott down this way with Watts?
Yes.
Okay. I got you. I moved him. Her, rather.
Why do I see...
Go ahead.
Oh, there we go.
If you...
Okay, I got it to behave now.
All right, bet. You arrive at what appears to be the aft end of the ship, based on how far you've moved down that central hall, corridor. That's actually on a different journal entry. So give me just a second. Oh, here we go.
Does it have a sign that says aft engineering airlock in Cyrillic?
What it says is the inner door to this, what appears to be an airlock, is open. The outer door is closed. And it definitely appears to be that this is a guaranteed way in or out of the ship. There's no windows, but this very clearly looks like your standard issue airlock.
Yep. Click. Sergeant Pike, I believe we found the end of the airship. Looks like a potentially intact airlock.
Can you lock it?
Click. We'll proceed to do that now. Click.
Make a well, let me ask you this. There is the how do I phrase this? You have the manual method available to you, and you have what looks like door panels that may or may not have power access to them.
Mm-hmm.
Not, you know what I'm talking about, like little keypads or whatever that have the little shutter over it, I guess is the way to phrase it.
Yeah, aren't airlocks typically designed so you can open only one side at a time?
Correct. Typically. Well, you can override that. Or it could be damaged. I.e., if the ship crashes or gets pummeled by debris.
If the airlock just so happened to have been slammed into the side of a planetoid.
That just may or may not have a jungle on it. It's some Marines slowly losing their mind to various stupid shit. You guys haven't even found real alien yet.
Yeah, so I would let Watts mess with the door to try to you don't want to seal it, but not irrevocably so.
Yeah,
because if we have to
just
leave through this way, yeah, he's securing it, but at least he's securing it in such a way that if someone does break it anyways, we will hear it happen.
Yeah. When Watts goes to secure it, he fiddles with the manual pump action handle system, whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't budge any way, shape, or form, but it does seem to indicate that it is already locked. Or it's just never going to unlock. One of the two. You can't really tell. Perhaps.
So it looks like permanently disabled?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't give that indication. Well, let me phrase this. Or let me figure out how I want to phrase it. So.
Can he open the door before he locks it?
Oh, yeah, if you want to do that, I'll just need a heavy machinery roll.
Yep.
No modifiers. Keep forgetting to switch over.
Okay, I my personal sense of curiosity wants me to open it before we lock it.
Well, I hear you. I totally hear you. And wow, that's a lot of dice, but also, yeah, it takes a moment, but he's able to get it open. It takes some physical exertion to get it to manually open. The door, the airlock exterior opens. There is a mechanical clunking sound as the interior door attempts to close, but it doesn't. Perhaps as if it were either obstructed or insufficient power. But you hear the mechanical actuators attempt to kick over, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I imagine
is it
you're now
outside on the other side of that door?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely the outside.
Cool.
You see a very familiar jungle that has the sun slowly setting. Not setting, but like you could tell it's getting very late in the afternoon.
Yeah, so yeah, he closes it. And then probably like rips out the one gear that makes the door open and close, and then just tapes it to the door on the inside.
100-mile-an-hour tape the gear.
Yeah, he literally is like, he's like, okay, I know how this door works. Pulls out the one gear that actually lets the door open and close, slaps it on there, some tape.
All right, I'll allow that. I'm not even gonna make you roll for that. We'll just assume he managed to pull it off. As part of
honestly, it's one of those is like, look, if we need this door, we can fix it pretty quick.
Yeah.
But and then he might tie it to a string and then slap it on the door and with some tape. So if somebody does open the door somehow, it'll jingle.
It'll jingle.
Yes, that is exactly what he does.
Oh,
he basically jury rigs a string with some fucking cans.
You guys do have, I believe I came up with 30 meters or 30 feet of electrical cabling that you found outside the ship before you went in.
Yeah, he probably takes like he probably doesn't even have to like cut a significant length off. He just trims like the really frayed, useless bits off, and basically makes a sound trap if someone does open the door.
Okay. All right. Done deal.
Click. After airlock secured with sound trap. Click.
The individuals outside or pulling exterior security, Winston and Warren. I need observation rolls. All right, well, let me ask this question. Are you guys actually outside, or are you inside the hull access tunnel?
It's your turn to be muted.
Is he muted?
I am muted. Well, we were supposed to be like within this area here.
Okay.
And as far as that was concerned, Warren was going to be kind of like on the inside of this area here, but Winston was going to be around this corner here, kind of curious about the guard room.
Okay. All right. In that case, I need Warren to make an observation roll, please.
Warren's observation roll. All right. Well, his 2 wits. Let's go and see what that works out as.
Push that.
I think he will.
He is supposed to be pulling guard, so maybe a push isn't inappropriate here, but that's up to you.
Yeah.
Ooh, roll that stress. Or that panic, rather.
Yeah.
Keeps it together. All right. With 2 successes,
Okay.
Warren doesn't get a good visual on it, but he very clearly can hear, somewhat muffled, somewhat distanced, an unmistakable sound of a dropship's engines. Perhaps not necessarily a dropship, maybe it's a fighter or some sort of aircraft, jet engine aircraft, flying overhead. And from the sounds of it, doesn't sound like it's more than a couple miles away. Like, it sounds ridiculously close. And probably not very high up either.
I should probably move up to like here and see if I can see it.
You have 2 total successes, so it's up to you what you want to do with that second success based on your movement and the fact you rolled multiple successes.
Okay.
So look at the stunts for observation. And
is it coming for me? Are there more of them close by? How do I get in past away? I think it's, are they coming for me?
It appears to be doing, this jet engine aircraft appears to be doing some sort of a search pattern, but you can't quite distinguish what it's looking for outside the obvious. That is, if they are looking for something, it's probably this ship. But it appears to be doing some sort of orbiting / back and forth sweep sort of deal.
Okay. So basically, I go on the radio and I say, so I think there's a drop ship looking around either for us or for this ship, and they're doing very poorly at it.
Good news for us.
We found it pretty easily, so I don't think it's going to be very long until they find us.
Well, I'm going to cut in as the GM. You did have the advantage of the transponder signal that somebody else may not have. Yeah, also, Pike, you don't know what it looks like.
Pokes his head into the hallway from the guard room and says, "Well, I suppose it's a good thing they suck and they don't have a Ganon."
They don't have a Ganon. Ganon's just sitting over there going, "Oh, that's funny. A Ganon." Drinks his water, sweat pouring off of him. Very clearly not used to anything not air conditioned.
Yeah, let me know if it sounds like they've gotten close enough that they might try to make a landing.
Okay, I will do that for you.
All right. Anything else from the Winston and Warren team? I know you guys are kind of stationary. But I want to give you a chance to actually do something here.
Winston is going to move into the hallway next to Warren and just kind of be like, "Okay, well, what's the plan?" And then just kind of jaws amongst them.
Okay. I believe that takes it to Sergeant Pike, who has
Pike
been
is
checking
gonna.
out this useless, raided out, cleaned out guard room.
Yeah, he's done with the guard room. And as he's walking down the hall, he's gonna take another. He's gonna take another. He's gonna look at the flask, just sort of chuckle to himself, take another sip, put it back in his pocket,
Okay.
and then he's going to open this door.
This time you're actually going to go into the med bay.
Get this one, I think you're prepared for.
Well, I have a list of all of the areas on the map and their descriptions, and I thought you meant med bay. That's why I started reading it. The door does require a strength roll, but I imagine you're going to make that roll pretty easily. However,
I will spend my extra 6 from earlier to rip this door open.
I thought you used that already, getting into the guards room.
It's not a one-time thing, like
Okay.
a +1 modifier to a later score related to this one. It's
Okay.
that you don't have to overcome the same challenge in the future.
Okay. All right.
So on a different ship, or if it's like the airlock door, I'd have to make a roll for it because it's not the same kind of door, and it's not.
Okay.
And if we're on a different ship, I'd have to make the rolls again.
All right. Yeah. You find what appears to be a med bay, judging on the fact that there's an auto dock. There are a number of bandages, syringes, splints, and then other medical accoutrements scattered about that. What you do see scattered about, I should add, is only a few, as if somebody had come in and tried to grab handfuls of shit and ran out, and still had enough hand left over to close the door again. Which I find weird for someone raiding a ship, but whatever. The auto dock appears as though it's possible. You're no electrical engineer or anything. But it appears like you could turn it on. It doesn't seem to have any physical damage. It's got some gunk on it from the vegetation and, the moisture buildup and all that. But aside from that, you probably could just flip a switch or something and maybe it'll turn on. Did Kane freeze?
I think maybe.
Oh, no. This always happens. Oh, yes.
There he goes, yes!
All right. Well, I don't know what he caught of that, so I may have to repeat that. Let's give Kane a moment or two to reconnect.
I wonder if he's going to call the doc in to be like, hey, doc, do the doc on the med bay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
while we're waiting for him, let's go to the other team, as my face now splits the divider that I had set up because I have a cheap ass overlay.com. It's not even a .com either, by the way. And see where the other two are going, and hopefully Kane will make it back.
Okay, I'm not trying to walk through a wall game.
If you want, you can go ahead and move all the way up to the allow it, considering.
Yeah, so it's just a little glitchy because of how the lines fall in this particular hallway. But they want to peek around this corner and then, slowly advance.
Now that I think about it, is there an icon on it? I'm looking. Oh, you guys can't see the whole map. Shit. Not appear to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just wanted to see something.
So, are there a whole bunch of doors along this section of the hallway? Is that what I'm seeing?
That is indeed what you are seeing. You have what appears to be a hallway. Let me see what you can see. According to my screen, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors, including the ones that are right behind you. There is a ladder. I'm not sure where exactly that ladder is.
Is it flooded?
I need to double check something. Say that. I see the ladder icon, but I don't know which of the areas it's assigned to in the descriptions.
I'm assuming it's flooded because we're trudging through water.
Yeah, there just outside that door is that ladder as indicated on the map, and it does lead down. And there is, of course, the door that is currently closed.
So are all these doors in this hallway that I can see right now closed?
Yes.
He keeps walking.
Okay.
Like, we're not going to attempt to open doors until we see indicators of, like, either something that says, like...
These individual doors that you are next to now, of which there's the one directly above Watts, and then 2 behind, and then 4 more. These doors all have what appears to be name tags. You don't necessarily recognize the names, but you know the sounds that the Cyrillic letters make, and they sound like Stalinsky.
Wescott writes them down.
Yeah, these are names.
Yeah, she actually just writes down the names and all the different things she sees.
Yeah. Let me just double check one thing really quick. There is a set. Basically, there's a set of 4 names assigned, from what you can tell, to each door. It looks like it was written with, like, pen on note card and then shoved into some sort of little framey thing next to the door, so that bodies could be moved in and out, names could be moved in and out as people move around over time.
Okay. And then he sees it loops back to the sensor maintenance bay.
Okay. And let's see if Discord's got anything. Kane, really quick. Kane is restarting his router as of 1 minute ago and is currently typing something.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah. Give me 1 quick second, guys.
I think Watts and Wescott might be developing a new hatred for fish.
I feel like that's a safe thing to bet on.
And for the jungle too, probably, but definitely fish.
While we wait for Kane, let's go ahead and yeah, you guys wanted to continue on to the sensor maintenance bay? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Have we been in that room?
No, I passed it just because I was going down the spine of the ship first.
Actually, I think
no, I did not.
Or maybe
I know I very purposefully did not go into that room.
Okay.
Is that what I think it is we just walked by? Is that an open door?
That definitely looks like it was an open door.
The fuck?
All right, well,
I know what a magazine is, so that is an especially unpleasant place to walk by.
Would you like to investigate that magazine?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, it's an open door. You'd be stupid to walk by and not poke your head in.
Yeah, we see an open door. We turn our head and we're like, fuck. Is there... Yeah.
Yeah, so there is a maintenance hatch here, and inside you see hundreds of tungsten rounds mounted in auto loading racks for probably some sort of railgun device. What is Watts rolling dice for?
Oh, you said to roll observation.
Did I?
I would have sworn you did, but I might have misheard you.
Hundreds of tungsten. If I did, I certainly didn't mean to. You're good, dude. But yeah, no. Inside here is tungsten rounds loaded on auto loading racks, presumably for the railgun that you saw outside the ship.
Are these the explosive kind of rounds, or are these the we throw large rocks kinds of round?
I believe these are mass projectiles and not explosive
large rocks,
bits.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on that, and it doesn't specify anywhere that I can recall off the top of my head right now. So we'll just go with these are literally just slugs.
That works.
For the sensor maintenance bay, obviously this is a technical area used to calibrate the ship's sensor suite. Looking around at the equipment, it looks like you could probably do some work, except there's one small problem. And I don't know how long this is going to take, so this may not be the best time to do it. Especially with Kane coming back. So
is he on his
if
way
it's a
back,
combat problem, then we should wait. If it's a skill check problem, then no.
It is a combat problem.
Cool, then we'll just wait.
But I'm going to put him on the map anyway so I don't forget because if we do end here, I need to remember for next week.
Is it more fish?
You don't see him?
Yeah, okay. Let me look.
I don't remember.
Okay, I see the icon.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It doesn't have a name.
I got you.
They're literally just paw prints.
Yeah.
They only have names in initiative, and they're not in initiative.
Correct. And I'm gonna hold off before I answer any of those questions. Let's give Kane a moment, because I think what we'll do is when Kane comes back, we will do his bit of where he's at, give him another round to move. We'll call that his movement while you guys were moving into the sensor maintenance bay.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably wrap there, so we probably won't actually do the combat this week, just because it could very easily take a moment or two to resolve.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we all know how combat scenarios can either go one of two ways: incredibly fast or incredibly slow, or long.
Yeah,
in either case.
Always account for a good hour.
That combat session that we just did, it didn't feel like it was terribly long, but it was like only 3 rounds, and it definitely took a minute or two to get through quite a bit of it. So,
yeah, I did.
I want to ask him if he's got an ETA or whatever, but
is he on Discord?
He is in Discord, or he was a moment ago. He shows up as offline. I don't know if he was doing that through his phone or what have you. So we'll have to give him a moment while we figure it out.
All right. Does anyone have a tale to regale the audience with?
Yeah. So you know how we keep talking about walking by these highly unpleasant allergic type things?
The plant thingies?
Yes. So I personally have like a chunk of discoloration along like this section of my arm that won't show up on camera because of the lighting in the evenings in this room.
Yeah.
But it's actually, my skin is several tones darker through here because I actually had scratched a good chunk of the skin off for a very similar reason.
Oh.
Because I do it in my sleep.
Oh, that's ugh.
Yeah, I scratch in my sleep.
And you don't realize it until after the fact. So you can't stop yourself. That's, yeah.
And it's one of those, like if I'm like having like a nervous chick day, that's another thing. Like sometimes I'll scratch it when I'm just not paying attention.
Yeah.
When I had hair, I'd play with my hair, but now that I don't have hair, I just scratch and not realize.
Yeah.
It's just like the tick of doing something with your hands. But yeah, I do it in my sleep a lot. Like I'll wake up with like chunks of like I'll like either if I leave my nails too long, I'll have lines. But I can understand wanting to scratch your skin off because I have done it because things have been so itchy without realizing.
I've definitely, I know me personally, I've had those moments where you're scratching and scratching and scratching, and like intellectually you're like, yo, I gotta stop. Like this is not healthy. This is not safe. I'm gonna make myself bleed. Whatever. And I'm like, but it fucking itches.
My best trick I found is numbing lidocaine cream sometimes works. And depending on where it is, it sucks because the last thing that goes numb in a lot of cases is your sense of heat. So if the lidocaine doesn't take out its sense of heat, it feels like you just put burning all over your arm.
Yeah.
It's really unpleasant if lidocaine
especially if that goes on top of the itchy part that you have too.
Yeah. The other option is my old reliable trick, ice cube. Because frankly, I don't live in a place where I have to worry about frostbite.
Okay,
and I'm like, I will take the light level of frostbite to just go ice cube until the flesh is numb. And then at least make it calm down enough for the nerves to reset and not be as itchy.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
It's not really good for your flesh to do that because ice cube is not good.
No, it's not. But if for the short term fix,
until you're bloody.
Yeah. I feel like that's better than scratching the shit out of yourself. Kane, are we good as far as we can tell? You're muted. We're playing the you're muted game.
If you can hear me and you can see me, then I guess so.
Okay, I mean, listen. For a moment ago, I thought I was hearing you and seeing you, and then I realized you weren't moving either.
Yeah, so how much of the medbay description did you hear?
It was pilfered.
It was pilfered.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So basically you've got what appears to be an auto dock that can be restarted, possibly, with a simple flip of the switch, other than the fact it's dirty and corroded and whatever. It looks like it might start up. There are some scattered medical supplies, bandages, splints, things of that nature, but it looks like the majority of what could have been has already been taken away. While you were gone,
I walked down 2 hallways.
Yeah,
and
Wescott,
everybody else died.
Wescott
I think
and
it's gonna
Watts.
be I died.
Wescott and Watts, why don't you guys call into Pike real quick? Because maybe a 5-minute check-in has come and gone.
Hey, Pike. We found a magazine
Sergeant
for
Pike.
the Sergeant Pike. We found the magazine for the railgun you wanted us to turn on, and looks like they're using mass rounds potentially. So at least we know they have ammo for when we get that on for you. You hear a head. You hear a head slap because Watts is not very formal.
Oh, is that Watts calling in, not Wescott?
Yes.
Ah. And I think what you hear is not just the.
No, you don't say like what you hear is head slap. That's Sergeant Pike to you.
Yeah. Then you also hear Pike. You also hear, along with that thunk of the head slap to the back of the helmet, you also hear Watts go, "Fuck, more fish!" Because there are 3 more of these stupid little fishies swimming in from the other side of the sensor maintenance bay that Wescott and Watts are in. And that is where we're going to end it, unless Pike wants to check anything else out nearby first, because he didn't get a chance to do much more while he was
Yeah, because that was like 2 turns of movement, so you technically have a free turn before we find bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to let's see. Just thinking about the size of the ship. I mean, I think Pike would have also headed down this way to try to get to other parts of the ship.
Yeah, because they've basically taken this central hallway here. I can't ping. There we go. They did one of these routes all the way down to the end of the ship, and then doubled back to here.
I mean, we checked some of the side hallways too.
Out of character for Pike. Yeah, there's a bunch of doors up along this hallway that all have what appears to be a number of names assigned to each door, and then they passed the magazine, which is right here, and then they are now in the sensor maintenance bay, which is literally right down the hall from you now. And then, as you could see on your map, Kane, the 3 little footprints indicating beasties.
Okay, then I think
and Gannon is about to shit himself. No, he's not. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think Pike is walking into the conversation.
Yeah, and he walks in about the time.
Me just finished slapping Watts for being rude.
Yep, exactly. That's Sergeant Pike, dumbass. And then you see Watts turning off and seeing that there is ripply movement in the very shallow water ahead of him, and he's like, "Fuck me, there's more fish." And that's where we're gonna wrap, because we still have to get through experience points and our outro for the night. And we didn't quite make as much headway, but also suddenly I feel like maybe we did. So, let me get my outro notes open here. Experience points. Did you participate? That's a no-brainer. I think we're going to be running out of circles to click on here for the characters. Has anybody run out of room yet? Let me ask that question.
No.
Is anybody probably going to run out of room tonight?
No.
Winston.
Okay. So you get the 1 for participation. Did you risk or sacrifice something to further your agenda? I will give that one to Wescott, because she definitely did attempt to move up, and she definitely dumped an entire magazine into a fish no larger than about a foot across. All to save her battle buddy from being chomped on. Anybody else?
He's my dude, man. I am bringing them back.
Yeah. Anybody else make an argument for that particular experience point? All right. Did you risk your life for your buddy, PC? Are we? I didn't even. Are we? Are you guys partnered up by player and buddy minion?
Yeah, like my minion has Watts as his buddy, and he totally just like skewered a fish for him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, not quite risking your life, but you definitely did that to save his life, and I'll take that. So Warren can get that one for skewering the one for Watts. Did anybody challenge or stand up to the rival PC? I don't think that happened at all.
I don't think either of my characters
I don't think anybody
defined.
really has a rival except maybe Warren towards Pike. Only because Warren is that guy, or maybe Pike towards Warren and then Watts towards Pike. I don't remember.
That's one of those. I think we need
of the string up people.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's gonna be a fun dynamic to explore narratively, like role playing wise.
Yeah.
Winston,
there's gonna be some stuff.
Yeah, I feel like Winston's gonna get that experience point sometime in the next couple sessions. Like, so you remember that firefight, and then you strung these fuckers up like damn socks? We need to talk. And I'm gonna take my top off while we talk, just so we can talk man to man, because I think that was a dick move. Anybody that made a panic roll? I know there was at least two separate characters. I don't remember specifically now. Watts was one of them, definitely.
Yeah, my two for sure made them.
Yeah, and Warren.
Did Warren make one as well?
Too, eh?
Well, on that observation roll, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and add that one in.
Wescott.
Oh yeah, I know she made one. She's panicked 7.
Yeah, you're scrolling through the dice rolls, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. I think that's it.
Okay, that sounds about right.
So 3 of us.
Let's see. Did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means? Wescott, Watts, Warren, yes. Winston,
no.
Arguable, because you didn't really get involved in that, and you didn't get a chance to either. But the other 3, yes. Did you make it a significant discovery or revelation? That is questionable. There's some discoveries and revelations, but nothing necessarily significant, as I understand it. Anybody want to argue?
Well, until the ship is down and we know that they're friend or foe, I don't think that's a really significant
The one
discovery.
that you spotted twice now?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got shot out of the air by something. The fact that something is still flying around really isn't new.
That's actually something of a no-brainer, but also not the inability so far to identify it is what's actually killing you. Not literally.
Yeah, naked eyes don't do so great in certain situations.
Yeah. Anybody perform an extraordinary action of some kind? Did you
ripping open doors?
He manning the door doesn't count.
I don't know if I would call that extraordinary, though. Like, if he had done that under fire and then used the dismantled door as a shield, a la an Ogren with a bulwark, I might have allowed that one.
But Pike had to use extraordinary strength to open the doors.
All right, you know what? You're gonna take my kindness as a weakness one day, but fuck it, I'll allow it. And then Warren gets one too for rushing in with a knife and stabby, even if he didn't quite. Or no, he did kill that fish with that stab, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give Warren that one too.
All right.
And then all 5
successes.
And it's tied to a bag now.
What's that? It's tied to his bag.
It's tied to a bag now.
He's got new backpack bling. Is that what they call it in Fortnite? Back bling, that's it.
Yeah, he's gonna have a few more, I think, by the end of this one.
He might. And then obviously all 5 of you can gain your freebie experience point because Pike has yet to do non-judicial on anybody.
All right, so Warren is absolutely maxed on experience.
Okay, so what you'll have to do is some form of note taking to make sure you adequately account for all your points. Yeah, Description. There should be a notes tab on the final bit of your character sheet.
Honestly, I would
you can also
throw
put
out
it
all
in
the
a
dots
cache
and
box.
say, yeah.
You just put however many beyond is. You just put that in your cache box for how many points beyond.
Yeah.
You're not going to have cash in your wallet, so.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah. However you want to keep accountability, just make sure you keep it accurate, because I am not gonna try to keep track of 5 people's experience points and expenditures and shit like that. I'm gonna have a fucking.
Okay.
I'll have a fucking coronary if I do. So feedback and outro comments, starting with Rodance. What you got for us?
Well, I feel like I should start a list of all the things my poor characters say until they, keel over. And I think we also need a. Yeah, it's like, okay, cool. Mutant fish, no. Swamp jungle, no. And just have a list that goes in that vein. Also, we totally should have a bidding pool on how long it takes Warren to fuck up bad enough to get his pay docked.
Ooh, but has he fucked up enough? So my question is this, I'm totally down with that. My question is this, in character, has he fucked up enough to actually trigger that conversation before you guys even agree to having that pool?
Hey, Warren's the guy who couldn't find his fucking pants.
That's one time. All right, now arguably that's enough. That's enough.
It's a super bad first impression.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Listen, I'm with you. The NCO in me is screaming right now. I want to rip his fucking head off.
Me and Pike might have a running joke about it.
Yeah.
We're not including our minions in this, of course, because we're not psycho. We uphold basic leadership tenets.
Yeah. Give me one quick second, guys.
Okay.
That would be kind of funny. A conversation between the NCOs about how long until they have to step in with their resident fuck up.
I could see Watts going back and forth between being Warren's rival and buddy, depending on the mood of the day. Right now he's still in buddy land, but
I did do something extraordinary with Winston though. I slapped Watts's wound and told him he'd be fine.
Oh God.
And I ended up fine also.
And I didn't die for doing it.
I mean, what would you expect him to? I mean, Watts. And what, you slapping Watts? I mean, he's not going to kill you in your sleep or anything. You're fine.
I mean, there might be a question after he, with no problem, helped Pike string those people up.
I missed a lot of that conversation. I needed to have a quick aside with my kid, but didn't Warren actually help? Or am I misremembering that?
I know Watts did.
Watts helped.
Okay.
Yeah, so Watts... no. Our medic over here is like, well, I slapped Watts. And I'm like, that might count as an incredible feat if Watts does something unpleasantly nasty to him later.
Watts is working really hard to become Pike's buddy right now.
I thought it was going to be Warren. I keep getting the two confused. Which one's the mafia dude and which one's not? Watts is the mafia. Warren is the retard. I should not have said retard.
Watts might have a rivalry with the medic at the moment.
That checks out, especially with his mafioso background / kissing up the Pike, and Winston being like, yeah, no, we really need to have that talk when we get back to Tampa Tam. This is not the time or place, but we need to have a talk. All right, so I missed part of that because I needed to do that aside with my kid real quick, but Rodance, did you have anything else?
No. I think the only other thing is I think I am actually going to update Watts to currently be a rival with Leland.
That makes a lot of sense. Speaking of Leland,
because Leland is all tenderhearted over there and doesn't even know how to get about. He would think insulting things of that nature, like he's all tenderhearted, he doesn't know how to be serious and blah 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 blah. Also, why would you just walk up and slap somebody? That's just rude.
Slap someone under wound. It wasn't a slap on the face.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah, that's any better.
I'm pretty sure what's that doctor Hippocrates, right? That was the name, right? The dude. The actual dude was Hippocrates. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Hippocrates was thinking about things like that in particular when he wrote that thing.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're not on Earth.
No, we're not on Earth, so all things.
It's not a war crime the first time.
Everything goes. Speaking of Leland Winston, the medic with attitudes towards leadership and kind of a do as you will medical style. I probably could have phrased that better. Please, Luke, what do you got for me? Feedback and any other outro comments? As suddenly the texts are hitting my phone like crazy. It's kind of retarded.
Oh wow. We just survived our second combat and hopefully surviving our third, or at least partially. So that'll be fun. Other than the me needing to read up on the Hippocratic Oath would probably be
I vaguely recall
Hippocratic
one
move.
I vaguely recall one line. It said something about "Don't hurt them more."
I mean, important distinction. He's not a doctor. He's a medic.
That is also very true.
Yeah.
That is also very true.
I mean, I'm a doctor that carries a gun, so I'm officially disqualified from the Hippocratic Oath, I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a solid point there too, but I think somewhere in the medical, you know what? I'm just gonna let it
and
go.
Even if we were on Earth, you're carrying a gun, so
yeah.
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 We'll let that one go. You got anything else?
No, that was pretty much everything.
Okay.
I actually, as I was like this attack, I was just thinking maybe at the rate we're going, we might have a like antagonistic like style relationship with this current set of characters and Leland for a while. I think we'll see. Have to see how it goes.
It'll be every major arc. Every major arc.
Pike thinks he's a super medic right now.
Pike literally heard him say, "Just put some dirt in, you'll be fine."
Yeah.
So I find it funny that in every one of your games, I'm playing the heel.
I mean, listen, I like to play the bad guy too. Why do you think I'm the GM for so many things?
Yeah. Point taken.
I mean, I will say this: when it comes to Mega Mech stuff, I am not the greatest player, so playing the bad guy who's meant to lose actually makes sense that I'm the one doing it. But that was meant to be more of a joke than a real realization.
I've killed too many people for them to willingly let me play the bad guy on purpose. I had one player who purposely built an entire character around having me roll saves because I could roll shitty, but I'd otherwise murder them with my minions.
I'm also the guy that killed
really well.
Remember, I'm the one that started a Pendragon campaign, killed my son's very first ever role-playing game character, and he was the first one killed in that Pendragon campaign amongst the player characters. It was done by me.
True that.
R.I.P.
You gotta learn sometime.
Yep. R.I.P. Sir Farvel.
Mm-hmm.
Kane, outro comments, feedback. What you got for me, my friend?
Pike grunted a few times.
Yeah, he did.
Pretty much all he did.
Grunted and opened a couple of doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pike didn't really find a whole lot of useful shit tonight, but...
I mean, he's not expecting to find a whole lot of useful shit. This thing's been here for so long, it's definitely been stripped by the locals.
Yep, it sure has.
So I have a couple theories about that.
Yeah?
If the doors are closed, it's probably something to note that this probably happened in the air while it still had power, and that it was stripped, and then when it landed, things happened really badly then.
Well,
like,
if it was landed, if it was still in the air, it wouldn't have been raided and like all the medical stuff taken out, the weapons and ammo taken out of the
But that's what I mean. Like,
it would have been.
It sounds. Yeah, but it sounds like it wasn't raided more than it was used by the crew, and then not went well.
You're saying that? Oh,
I
get you. So the stuff that's been quote unquote raided was actually used by the crew while it was still in flight, and then once it landed, the crew disappeared
then it was raided.
with the shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the
Definitely
other thing
option.
is, if it was raided by the locals, they would already know where to find us.
True.
They wouldn't have to be searching.
We don't know whose aircraft that is.
Could be anybody.
There's a few unanswered questions.
Yeah. I'm trying.
I'm
biting the fuck out of my tongue right now to keep from revealing too much.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the people that Pike wanted to dissuade from further pursuit were pretty ragtag. So it's unlikely that they'd be able to keep an aircraft running.
They did blow up your Cheyenne with a single RPG. I'm just throwing it out there. Or maybe it was
They
two. I don't
didn't blow
remember.
it up. I survived.
Nope. You're right. I forgot. The Cheyenne was blown
We
up by
blew up
you
our
guys.
Cheyenne.
Yeah. They definitely hit the
we got the
Cheyenne
experience
with
points.
with an RPG.
I
got nothing else now.
inside, it was
Listen,
fine.
I'm backpedaling.
No one
I have
blows
to
up-
backpedal on that.
No one blows up Cheyennes quite like the Marines do, all right?
That's fair. That's fair. You got anything else, Luke? I do need to start wrapping this up.
No, that was everything, and
I'm
it was
sorry,
Kane's turn.
I apologize. I meant Kane. That's like the one time tonight that the filter didn't catch it. 3 other times I almost called Kane Luke. Don't know why.
We look so similar.
It's the glasses. I don't know.
It's the glasses.
So fucking.
I mean,
But you're a female, so. I'm gonna stop because somewhere I'm gonna get.
Sure. Should I take it a compliment if I get called both Kane and Luke in a single game?
I'm gonna call you Kluke. How about that?
You get 1 experience point per like match or whatever if you get called Kluke.
You get one. What Kane? What do they call it? That the players get the story points or something like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, for the cinematic play.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, our glasses do look very similar.
They do.
That's true. I am looking forward to us. I'm hoping that Winston and Pike survive this mission because I'm looking forward to because Pike's already got a system down for people for grievances. And I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pike likes to think that he's a fair guy.
Okay.
All right.
Whether anybody agrees with him on that's a separate issue, but he likes to think he's a fair guy.
Are we good for next week?
We have some locals who might disagree with that comment, but okay.
Yeah, but all the locals that got involved are dead now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, with my new schedule, I just got to get used to the no nap before work before this, and I was a yawning mess, so sorry about that.
Oh, have you seen me not yawn once? I've yawned many times.
All right.
He can't even remember who's who.
Can we please not talk about yawning before I continue to sit here and yawn all over our video stream?
All right, my friends, we are done for tonight, and we are out of here. Join me again tomorrow night for what should have been last week, but will be this week, the final episode of Second Star, a Traveler 2300 role-playing experience. It will be the series finale. In American, that means that's the end of the show, no more. There might be more later in the future, another iteration or a continuation of a story within that same universe. But as far as this series goes, tomorrow will be the final episode ever. Other than that, Greyland Trails League is moving into its 9th week. We are currently scheduling and setting things up for that, so stick around to learn more as it develops and as we get dates set in stone to continue into the final week of regular season competition. Other than that, I think that's all I got.
And watch out for the match with me and Fohammer.
Yeah, Golden Suns are playing the Fohammer and his Davian Golden Suns are taking on our very own Luke and his Canopian Honeybees. That will be happening during week 9, which will be played out over the course of the next week or two as we get everything hammered out for scheduling and whatnot. In the meantime, we are out of here. Stay safe out there, my friends. This world is a crazy, dark place, so make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. And as for me and mine, out of here, guys. Have a good one. See you next time.